Hello, everyone. My name is Stacy Don, and I will be your host for today's webinar about how to deliver useful data insights without overloading IT. I'm a marketing manager here at Help Systems, and today we have our expert, Mike Stegeman, here with us. Mike is a senior data access consultant with Help Systems and has been working with SQL for over 16 years and on the IBMI platform since its inception in 1988. He has presented at Common and at partner trade shows all over the country. How you doing today, Mike?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Happy to be here and glad everybody can join us.
Yeah, nice to have you. So, before we get started, just a little bit of housekeeping for today's session. If you happen to have any questions today, please use the questions feature and send a message to all presenters, and we'll take care of those questions during our Q&A at the conclusion of today's webinar. I'm also recording the webinar, and we'll include a link to the recording and a follow-up email within a day or so once we're done here. So now let's go ahead and get started. Mike?
All right, sounds good. As business users, we need data, right? More accurately, we need information to make informed business decisions. A key to delivering actionable insights is to understand your data and be able to get the information, the right information that you need. Burdening your IT department to run reports, create PC files, email results, etc., that's not a goal that anyone really wants or needs. I've worked with many IT reps over the years, and they're all busy. We all are, right, with their assigned duties. But they also spend a lot of time, too much time really, building and maintaining existing queries and programs for their business users. You can have one query, like this slide kind of indicates here, that groups or selects information for, let's say, Minnesota, another one for Illinois, and a third for California, maybe one for customers, sorts by customers or by products, right? One grouping just information for year-end data, and on and on and on. You get the idea, right? Just just keeps growing and growing and growing. Well, with SQL, just one view could actually do a lot. It can let the user select the data based on their needs at runtime or to group the data differently each time. They can actually drill into Minnesota today, tomorrow run the same view without making any changes to it, and return the records for California. This empowers the end users. It's simple. You run the same view, but you get different insights based on your needs. Think about how much time SQL can save your programming staff. They no longer have to build queries or create programs based on today's request. A client and I presented at a partner conference not too long ago. They had created some dashboards for their users. Their users kept wanting and asking for more. Eventually, they ran out of room on the dashboard, so they had to create more dashboards. And to assist their business users further, they created a new dashboard with nothing but buttons on it, kind of like the one that was just up a second ago, and made sure that their users had that menu as a shortcut and as their starting point, right? Then designers create views, tables, and dashboards. The users often, look at it and ask for more. The designers can really easily make a change, and all they have to do is resave the object. The business user just simply runs it again. So what we're looking at here is a couple different types of dashboards that run from our browser. Business users can save the results as PC files, including Excel. They can print, they can email, they can create a chart or graph, or add or change subtotals or grand totals, drill into the details. And we have a SQL client table, which is another option that allows the user to pivot the fields and drill in to explore more and more about their data. And we have two types of drill downs. The first type allows the users, it's called an application drill down, right, within SQL. And it guides the user, the business user, down the predefined path or paths. This saves them time and effort having to decide where to go next. Could be something like a customer list, down to open orders, to order details, to shipments. There could be branches off at any point looking to AR or order history. And the one on the screen that you're looking at here is going from different profile down to maybe bank details or personal details, contact details, then from one of them or more, going down to more details. So it's a defined path. You build all this ahead of time, but then the user is empowered and guide their hand. The next type is called dynamic drill down, and it's the simplest to use within SQL and also the simplest to set up. From the results of a single summary or grouping view, the users simply select a record and then select one of the fields from the underlying definition that they would like to drill into for more information. They select the path that they want to uncover the story that the data is telling. In this example that you see on the screen, by selecting the first record for BMWs, right, we can select a field like model and category, drill into that, display information easily and quickly on the fly. No longer do we have to go to a programmer for more information. Now, I'm not going to actually talk about this during our demo portion because I'm about ready to start into a demo portion for SQL. But the flexibility of SQL allows business users to get real-time data they need, possibly in an Excel pivot table, right? Data can be pulled from the source simply by opening the workbook in what's called a viewpoint add-in. Okay? The links are stored in the workbook definition. Opening it, you want new data, boom, it's brought in. So keep that in mind as an option. We have done other demos and other webinars on Excel, so you can go to our website and look for those if you want more, or you can just reach out and contact us. So now I'm about ready to start into a demo. Okay, I'm going to cover three areas, kind of what I talked about in the slides here. Deploying SQL dashboards, right, for users to share. I'm going to do it you can do it from the browser or from our GUI interface. The client table or pivot table. Okay, the user can filter, pivot, explore into data right on the fly. They can also take it offline and still have that pivot, filter, and explore options. And then drill downs. I talk about the two drill downs, the view to view drill down and the dynamic. So I want to talk about all three of these. All right, so just got to switch over on my screen. Your users can run the dashboard. I haven't switched over yet. It's changing, so bear with me. But your users can run the dashboards from a browser to see the current data, or like I said in the PowerPoint, be given a menu of buttons to go a variety of places, right? So let's go ahead and come on, get this bad boy started. Hello, hello. There we go. Now we should be seeing it. There we go. So I clicked on a shortcut on my desktop, and it's asked me for my IBMI credentials. Right? It's a secure way to access the system. I'm getting real-time data, so I have to know. There's my menu. I can now go to a variety of different places here, right? I can go to data. I can go to dashboards. I have other information down at the bottom. I can even go to other websites, as you can see on here. Buttons can be set to do a lot of different things. And I'm running this right from my browser, right on my shortcut, right? So now I'm going to go into what I call a management daily dashboard, right? It gives me kind of a snapshot overall view of what's going on. Now, dashboards are customizable, right? So in this particular dashboard, I've designed it to have some gauges over on the left, some graphs in the middle, right? You can see on the graphs, I have data down below with toolbar so the user at runtime can do things, buttons that can take me to other data, right? I can go to a lot of different places. My gauge showed accounts receivable, but I've clicked on the balance sheet, and I can see where that accounts receivable came from, but I can also see the full balance sheet, and it's presented in summary format, so I can do drill downs. I'm going to show drill downs more in just a minute. But as a user, I can easily take this to a PC file. I can print, email. You see the toolbar all right up there. Okay. So everything's customizable within there. Now, business users can get to select the data they want to see. Date prompts are huge. This particular view, this particular link here, this button is running a dashboard, and I get to select the date range because that's the way it's set up, right? I can pick it from this nice drop-down calendar. Looks beautiful there. Get to pick my data, and there it is. There's my data. Right? Now, because the prompt is on the front of the dashboard, not from a button, I can just hit the reprompt all and change my data. Oops, it didn't go more current enough. Let me rerun it. There we go. I'm going to run for 2018 and 2019, and you'll see the data change. There we go, because we don't have any shipments yet from our California warehouse through 2018. But I can see that just real quickly with a prompt. So prompts are powerful in giving the user the information. Those don't have to be on a button. They don't have to be on a dashboard, but they can easily be run. Now, anything can be set for a prompt. It could be an account number, or in this case, a product number, right? So I'm actually showing the user the descriptions. Under the covers, it's passing the product number, the actual, code. But now, and it's a summary view, so I'm looking at it by month, summarizing it by month, so I can drill into that and see more detail, whatever details behind it. Okay, so there's a lot that you can do within a client table. Okay, so now I'm going to flip over to talk about client tables. Now this is a view that's the basis for my client table. A lot of data, a lot of information, right? Not really, it could be sorted. I don't really have it sorted a whole lot in this particular example. Just a lot of data, a lot of columns, a lot of information, right? Now it's not as much as people have in real life, but it is there. So what I'm going to do is create a new client table. Now, if for anybody who's on the webinar here who does have SQL and haven't used client tables, it's something you might want to look into. The wizard, like most of ours, is a 4-step title. Pick the fields that you want on the left-hand side. So I'm going to pick a couple here. I'm going to pick. Let's see where they go. Oop, I went past it. Line, family, and category. Okay, so all of the product related fields. So line, family, and category. You can have one, you can have more than one. Columns is the information going across the top, right? So in this case, I want to pick region and country. And now I'm telling it what I want summarized in the cells, what I want in here, right? So it's typical to most of your tables, if you think of a table, not a file as a table, something like that, but a table. Now here's the results. I'm in design mode right now, right? So I can tweak this if I want. If I want more or less fields, I can make my changes here. I can do highlighting if I want to. I can do different things within the table. But I'm just going to save this one. You just hit the save diskette, and it saves it. Once it's saved, like all of our objects, you can run it from a browser, right? So I'm going to go over to my browser and run it from what's called the SQL Web Interface Explorer screen. There comes my client table. And always from the browser, it presents itself in compressed, so I'm just going to expand all, but I could expand just the rows or just the columns. Okay, I like doing expand all because then it just populates the whole table. Boom, here it is. Well, it's coming. There we go. There's all my data. So there's my table. So I took that view, which really didn't have things in any particular semblance of order. Now I have something out here, but I can do more than just look, right? I am running this from a browser, but hey, if I don't want the granularity of the 3 product fields, let me take one out, right? And the table will readjust. And now I'm just looking at product line and family with region and country across the top. Well, let's make more granularity. Let's add territory. Now, I know in my data, territory makes more sense having it in the middle of my region and country. All right. I can do a filter off of any of the fields, whether the ones on the top, which are not included in the table, or the ones actually in the table. But we can also pivot some fields in. I want a different type of data, right? So I'm bringing in store type. Now, what started out as product line, family, and category now has changed, right? Looking at store type, line, and family. So I'm looking at other information. If a number pops out at me like this $2 million, double click on it. It'll open up and show you the detail using all of the fields, not just from the table definition, but from the whole view definition. And I can export that information right to Excel with a click of a button. I can also take the table to Excel or to HTML right here from the browser. Okay, and I can do expand or collapse again, showing details, so all that I can do right here and create a chart if I need to. Remember, this is running from a browser, right, our SQL Web Interface piece. Now, if I go back to Viewpoint, which is my GUI interface, and I run the client table from here, there's that same guy, CTVUL. If I run my client table from here, all right, there's the same thing. I'm looking at the same data, the same information. I get all the same information. I can do the same things with the filter and the pivoting, but I do get another option from here. I can do a pivot, excuse me, a save as, and save it as what's called a VPC. Yeah, I can put it to Excel or HTML, but if I put it as a VPC, I'm taking it offline. That was the thing I mentioned in the PowerPoint during the slides that said, hey, you can take it offline. Now I have an icon on my desktop that I don't need to be connected to Wi-Fi. I don't need to have anything special, just have my PC. Some of our customers actually run nightly jobs that create these VPCs, and the job puts them into a folder, and then the sales reps come in and grab them. They don't need anything special. They just run that on their PC. They do need a client table viewer, but it's like a freebie Adobe Reader. Then the user gets the ability to, like I said, play with the data. So this is the dynamic drill down, the one on the lower left here. So I picked the Midwestern region, and you see all of the fields that are available. So I'm going to pick sales rep now. What it's going to show me, it was showing me the gross revenue broken down by region. Now I'm drilling into just one region. So we're building this SQL on the fly, putting a filter for the region, changing our select to use sales rep, right? Now I'm looking at gross profit by the Midwestern region by sales rep. And if I highlight any data, I can easily create a chart with just a button, use my default 3D column. I don't have to. I can choose a pie if I want, a line, whatever makes sense to you, right? Here's a two-dimensional pie. I like spinning the wheels when I like playing. I can save this off as a JPEG, a PDF, PNG image. I can change it if I want to go back to a bar, right? There's different types of bars that I can have out here, so I can do what I want. So if I need to put this in a presentation or something, I can save it off. I can sort, ascending, descending, pretty easy. You know, those are pretty standard options. I can hide and remove columns very quickly. Why would you want to do that? Well, if I'm going to send this off as a PC file or an email, I may not want to show everything, so I can hide some columns, right? Because this is a summary, I can continue the drill down if I want to. And if the underlying view had enough information, like the customers that I clicked on Randy, I can see what customer types that he's been dealing with, right? So now I can see that Randy has been selling to direct sales, OEMs, and special contracts, direct sales being the highest in his particular area. And all the functions are still there, printing, emailing, saving results as a PC file, and I can continue to drill in, assuming I have more detail, see what kind of customers I went into the direct sales, what kind of customers is in that group. Okay, he's got three, NBCO Corp, NBCO Corporation, and this other one I don't know how to pronounce, but it's always in the database, right? So there you have that Tan-Rich Corporation, right? So I have all of that information, so I can continue the drill down. That was all dynamic drill down from one view, one result set. Now the other type is defined path, right, or what we call an application. So we built several views and use an application wizard to bring them together. Now what I have here is one view, and it takes me to one of two options, right? Products that were sold, that I can see what who purchased that product or what else did they purchase. So this is who purchased the product, right? Show me anybody who's purchased the one product I clicked on, which is BMX 400. I have a reprompt here because this is an existing SQL definition, so I don't have to go back to the beginning. I can do it right here. I could just say, show me who bought a decal, right? I could see all of that. If I do go back, I want to start back at that original application. I can now go to my product again, pick my product, BMX 400. What else did they purchase? So this is running, again, an existing SQL definition where it's showing me any order that has that product on it. Now, normally, in my head anyway, I'm thinking things like I mentioned in the presentation. You know, you go from account number down to detail. You go from customer to orders to order detail, you know, down that way. What I'm showing here is a little bit different, but kind of the same thing. Again, I can prompt, change my product. I can run this view separately, just standalone without doing the application or the drill downs. It would just prompt me for the product. And it does have subtotals built in, right? So I can see them. I can change them if I want to. I can remove them. resorting. I can do all that. Download to a PC file, printing. It's all there for me from the browser. You also have that from our GUI interface, but that's what's available from the browser. You can even drill down from a graph, assuming you present the user with the toolbar. So in the pie chart here, I do have these show details because it's presenting in summary. And if you do go from a graph, it goes from a graph to a graph. So you just want to be careful what you're picking on, but it can be very useful. So here, in California, most of the sales are to one customer. Let me pick a different one here. Let me go to I'll pick Illinois. There's a lot more data out there. Drill down, show details, customer number. And if we have by default more than 5 customers, it's going to show in a bar chart. If there's less than 5 or less, it'll do a pie chart automatically. But I can change that. There's the chart option on the toolbar. Now, if I wanted to drill in from here, I still can. Just like I did in the view definition, I can go from graph to graph to graph. Again, it's going to keep it in a graph, but I can go to drill downs for my highest customer there with the most information, maybe pick what kind of order types that they've been ordering, right? What are their order types? And we have some B's and some R's, which, back order, regular, or, however your system has your data. So there's a lot that you can do as a user, with those types of drill downs. So we've talked about dashboards, right? Deploying dashboards could be from a shortcut. The shortcut could be a menu. You can do it from a browser, or you can do it from our GUI interface. All of these options are the same as far as can be done from the browser or from the user interface. So deploying the dashboards. A side note on that topic there with dashboards, I was recently talking with a customer, and they were just starting to deploy the web interface piece. But what they did was when their developer saved all their dashboards, they saved them as, which is an option within the Viewpoint Designer, as PC objects. So there was only that one PC definition. But they weren't lost, right? All they had to do was open it back up in design mode, do another save it as an IBMI object, boom, now it's available to run from the browser, and they can start creating their shortcuts or put the information into links into their HTML web page, however they wanted to do it, as long as someone is inside their environment, either via VPN or proxy, they can get in to deploy any of the objects from the browser. Okay, if they're internal and they're connected with their GUI interface that we call Viewpoint, they can run their dashboards. Client table options, I showed both of those, browser and Viewpoint. That's your pivoting, right? Your OLAP table. And then the drill down details, the dynamic, which you start with one grouping view, and then the detail, the view to view or defined path application drill down. And I just touched on a couple of information how you can go from a browser to Excel, from Viewpoint to Excel, right? There's even more in Viewpoint on the GUI interface to go to Excel. You can schedule jobs to be sent out as emails, things like that. So SQL has a whole lot to it. So who in IT, right? You have all this knowledge as a programmer, and who in IT really wants to come in the morning or overnight and run a report so it can be emailed, right, as a spreadsheet? Who would within SQL schedule it? You can sleep in and let the system take care of it, all right? So that's all what's that about, right? So whether you're importing, converting your old queries, building from scratch, SQL is a powerful yet flexible in its result. Customizable dashboards I mentioned that are out there, KPIs. Remember, dashboards by design often really show summary information, and then that gives the user drill down options depending on how you present it. That really empowers the user because they can get the information they need. It's flexible. It's easy for them to access. They rely less and less on IP for different information or reports. Therefore, IT can be more productive, right? And using SQL and your I together can provide the peace of mind. We do honor any IBMI security that's set up, or you can invoke some of the SQL authority. So there's no doubt that SQL is a solution that has many advanced functions available for you when you need them. And that wraps it up.
All right, Mike, thanks so much. I
Welcome.
feel like you answered the questions that have come in so far regarding security and how to deploy client tables. Um, if you happen to have a question and you're still hanging here with us, go ahead and submit it via the question box, and we'll go ahead and get that answered here quickly before we end today. The one question that I have here that I'll ask Mike is, can dashboards display data from different databases or systems?
Oh, absolutely. It really goes back to the view definition, So absolutely, SQL can access information on SQL Server, Oracle MySQL, Excel, Access, just about anything with the JDBC type driver. So you can go out there and get that information at the view level. The view can be placed then on a dashboard, and you can show it. You can even, if you need to merge the data, you can do it within a SQL script, or better yet, a SQL script view, which is a different type. Again, for those SQL users who are out there who may not know that, look that one up. So you can actually get out there and see that. So there's a lot that you can do. Absolutely, it can show information from different platforms. One just popped up here. Let me read it real fast. Oh, can we connect? It's talking about a particular ERP package, formerly called BPIX. Wow, that brings back memories. I used to work for SSA and BPIX back in the 90s. Anyway, on the AS400 platform, on the I platform, absolutely. Since SQL installs on the I, your DB2 database on the I is easily accessible. Everything I was showing you today, whether in the demo or in the slides, was all IBMI data, DB2 data on that. It wasn't specific to any platform. That's one of the things about SQL is we work with so many different companies. We're not industry specific. We're also not application specific, right? So we can do any of your data out there. So we don't know your data. We don't know whether it's BPIX or anything else, right? But JD Edwards, we don't know what it is, but we can do that. Wow, questions are still coming in. Sorry. Dashboard can include both prompted or date range and a point in time information. Yes, it can, Kathy. Um, No, it can. It should be able to be supported. Sounds like you uh, yeah, contact support for assistance on that. Jackie even or Kathy, you even said that on your thing. It says that you did not contact support. Support is more than happy to help you with that. They need to determine where the error is coming from, but you can have both types, prompted and non-prompted. Absolutely. I have an example that I show often that prompts for salesman information where a graph and a view is specific to that salesman prompt, and the other graphs and views results are just showing all of the sales reps combined with their summary information. So absolutely, just give our support line a call. Are there any canned reports? Unfortunately, there are no canned reports. It's from Craig. We do have some examples over our sample database that you can use as guides. But because we deal with so many different packages, including homegrown packages, which we have no idea about, we can do that. What we often do is try to work with your vendor and try to get you some files and some things. I know that Infor is we are partners with them, but I don't know if they've created any SQL definitions that you can get from them. But if you can just get the layouts, then that'll give you a good line to get started. And then we have training and support that'll also help you get that started. Services data. Sorry, Stacy. These were coming in hot and heavy, and I just wanted to get in there. Oh, another one.
Yeah.
Will data automatically refresh if you want it to? If you wanted to, one of the settings in the dashboard is to auto refresh the data. So if you build a dashboard and tell it to auto refresh, as opposed to the ones I was showing, which I call interactive, meaning that the user is going to run them and click on something, absolutely you can do the auto refresh. Yep, just a setting within the dashboard designer.
All right. Those are great questions.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
If any more come in here in the next minute or so, and we don't get to them before we wrap up, keep them coming. We'll keep this up for a few minutes more. I'll respond individually to everybody, and then we'll get your questions answered.
Yeah, we are at the bottom of the hour. So if you're curious as to whether SQL is a good fit or not, we do have a free 30-day trial. So you can reach out to us, and we're happy to help you get the software installed and see firsthand how it could potentially benefit your business. So, with that, I'd just like to thank you, Mike, for presenting today, and thank everyone on the line for joining us. We really appreciate it, and we hope you all have a great day.